First things first, we got to take the strings off. It is a mess. This is what I always do to my strings when I'm throwing them away, is I'll tie them in a knot. I know it's a stupid little thing, but just keeps them all together so they can end up in the trash. Okay, now we're going to re-string it. Show you how to do that. I'll show you how I do it. I get the lightest gauge I can because my hands are getting, well, not arthritic yet, but soon. I always start with the thickest string. So here's how I do this. Now you see the groove there, right? The groove on the peg. Always want to the groove towards the string. I'm going to get the string in there, push it down, and then pull up on it. And if I can get underneath here, sometimes you can. I want that string to be all the way pushed up, because sometimes if the string, the ball end of it isn't there, it as you're tuning it, it could pop this out. So I want to make sure that's in there pretty tight. How much string do you want wound? And do you wind up or down? Personal preference, I wind down. But usually the wound string, there's a lot of excess here. So you don't want to pull it taut, right? Because then you're not going to have enough winds for it on this end. I think the rule of thumb is 1 fret. Then I'll start winding. And I hold it with my left hand here. It's coming out of the nut there, that's fine. And I say I wind down, some people wind up. Personal preference. This guitar doesn't go out of tune at all, so it's not really that big a deal. Then you'll see the winding right there, right? Now another thing I do, I like to stretch the string so it's not really that tight, is I'll take and I'll just kind of go through and stretch it out a little bit. All the way length. Not too much, just a little bit. I get about 2 winds on there, which is good for acoustic. Then I'll cut it. Not too short, but not too long either. You don't want to get poked. That's about good. And then sometimes what I'll do is I'll bend that little edge down around so it doesn't poke you. There we go. And you can see the whole thing. So interesting thing about Taylor's, San Diego, actually El Cajon, which is a suburb of San Diego. I was in the Navy. I was stationed in San Diego for a little bit. Actually visited the factory in El Cajon twice. I took my parents when they visited to go see it because they helped pay for this guitar. I got this when I got winged in the Navy as a helicopter pilot. And so I wanted to see where it was made and how it was made and why it cost so much money. And after going through that factory tour, yeah, they just really impressive how they make their guitars there, from the wood selection and how they treat the wood all the way down to the precision. These all computers. I think they're CAD machines. I don't know. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but just impressive. If you don't have one of these, you need to get one. Save your hands. And you're probably thinking, oh, he's getting his finger grease all over the string when you do that. Yes, I am. But I'm going to show you something that I got to help take care of that. Remember, pull it and then pull 1 fret length. Then you got to think of the opposite. You do this enough, you develop your own flow and techniques. I definitely recommend watching as many people change strings as possible and pick what you like, what works for you, and what you're willing to do. A lot of times I go by what's the fastest method because I want to get it done. I used to guess how much string, and I always wanted like the thinner strings to have more. I don't know what, for whatever reason that was, but I did. More winds, but it doesn't really, I don't think it matters. These are the thinner ones are harder though to keep them to wind down. This sometimes want to bunch up. That sounds good. These ones will get you. So I like to bend those down and out of the way. You don't want to cut yourself. I cut my middle finger, it's going to make playing a lot harder. That wasn't on a string though. All right, last string. This is the hardest one. And you'll notice that the thinner gauge the string, the more winds you get around it by 1 fret. So this is quite a few. Sounds great, doesn't it? We'll get her tuned up here shortly. But that fretboard looks a lot nicer. This is always. There we go. Alright, get these strings, paper, clean up your mess. F. Got close. Hear how it's doing that? And it got way loose is because the windings moved up. Sometimes I'll leave them a little sharp because they know they're gonna go back down. That's hard with the Band-Aid on there. Okay, she's in tune. My finger's not ready to play, but let me show you something. You may have seen these on the internets, the interwebs. This thing. So what is this? It's a little cleaner thing. So you slide this, and this does the fretboard too. Slide it under there, click it in, and you can go all the way up. Doesn't quite get to the first fret, but you can kind of just do that a couple times, and supposedly it'll get your grimy finger, it'll clean the strings. Maybe the strings last a little bit longer. I'm just now using this, see if it makes a difference or not, but there you go. Now look at that fretboard. Nice, looks good, nice and clean. All right, now we've got a nice and clean fretboard. That's how I change strings, and I'm probably going to do a better job of keeping the fretboard nice and clean. And I got this fret cleaner thing, and I'll put a link in the description below to this and all the stuff I'm using. So thanks for watching. If you made it this far in the video and you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. And if you found this useful, hit the like button. I appreciate it. Take care and have a blessed day.